Alright, hey everyone. I recently participated on April 30th in the Pack Mastery Blitz Invitational. This was an invitational to some of the top Super Auto Pets players, 16 players. And the format of this tournament was that we had to play different packs. So Pack 1, Pack 2, Pack 3 will all be showcased. What is the prize of the tournament? The prize is a trophy hat. So the trophy hat is an exclusive item that is only given in rare events by the devs. This tournament is very, very serious and everybody will want to try to take the prize. So the structure of the tournament is that we'll be playing best of 5 in the first 3 sets, and then in the finals will be a best of 7. This is a single elimination tournament, so if you lose, you're out. Additionally, the rules for within a game are that we'll always be playing with the same packs against each other. We'll have 15 starting lives, and the turn duration is a scaling 75 seconds. What that means is that in the earlier turns, it'll be reduced much less than 75 seconds, and by the later rounds 8 plus, will be given the full 75 seconds. The 75 seconds is a very short time. So the way that this tournament was ran was that we had a couple individuals, not part of the tournament, seeding the players. I was given the 9th seed, and so that meant I had to play against 8th seed, and when we go down the rabbit hole, I will be playing probably 1st seed next. The seeding was done mostly based off of previous tournament results. Even though I won the previous trophy hat tournament of 128 players in January, I actually haven't really been playing in any tournaments, so consequently, my seeding is not great. Alright, so let's dive right into the games themselves. Alright, so the first game that we are playing is on Pack 3. This is the new pack, and the general strategies in the first and second turn is to just buy 3 pets and try to prepare for some triples, try to get some doubles going, and we kind of just ran the pets against each other. These turns are not super critical in that on these turns we're only losing 1 health if we lose. Yep, on this turn, pretty straightforward. I just want to prepare some doubles, fill out my team, and buy strawberries. The strawberry is a pretty fun unit in this, pretty fun food in Pack 3, and that there's a lot of strawberry synergies. For example, the kiwi pet, the little brown guy, when you sell it, it will give some stats to the pet with the strawberry, and then the hummingbird at the beginning of the turn will give some stats. At the beginning of the combat will give some stats, like so. Boom, 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 boom. And I lose again because he's doing the same strategy. Rounds 3 and 4 are very interesting. In the meta for this pack, we want to be trying to build as big of a unit as we can. This is done via fried shrimp food and then the broccoli food. Fried shrimp gives +3 attack, -1 health, and then broccoli gives the opposite of that, -1 attack and then +3 health. So by having 2 pets separate and then buying the food separately onto each other, you can build a very high health unit and then a very high attack unit and then eventually combine. At the end of the last turn, I ran out of time and I didn't freeze the broccoli. There is one other viable meta that is to get salamanders. Get 2 salamanders, make them get big attack, eventually lollipop, and then combine the 2 salamanders to get 1 big unit. So here you can see I combined the 2 iguanas and now I have an 8-10. Now, the downside of once you combine it, you can no longer buff your pet up with food because then you're going to be, the downside of the broccoli and fried shrimp, you'll be reducing your stats. And at this point, I am not sure exactly what I want to do. I want to look for something like a capybara or a toad, but there is very little time to think and I'm not really sure what I'm looking for. So you see that I skipped over quite a couple things, and at this point, I'm just kind of rolling randomly, trying to make sure I spend my gold because I think really, really slow. And I lose again. This time we have 60 seconds to work with. And again, I'm thinking, what is it that I'm looking for? Am I looking for another toad? Am I looking for capybara? And is it potentially I'm looking for something like a salamander? So the salamander, you can buff its attack up and eventually buff its health up and then try to let it start trading. So I've got 7 gold left. I've got 15 seconds. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking for. So at the last moment, I decide that I'm just going to start buying stuff because I ran out of time. I floated 1 gold right there. All right, turn 7. There are new units that are introduced. The tier 4s are available, and Hawk is one of the strongest units in the game for this turn. What it does is it deals 7 damage to before at the start of the battle, and it will do 7 damage to the pet on the opposite side of the board. So I decide that I want to get 2 Hawks and just try to win. And running out of time, I just started buying random food. And so the Toad, unfortunately, it's a very strong supporting unit, but I lost because the Toad died before the start of the fight. Okay, so I'm gonna explain the fight to you guys. So this the very last unit that they have is the donkey, and the donkey's effect is that when a pet dies, my last unit, the Toad, will be pushed to the very front of the board. So when that hummingbird dies, my Toad will then just die to their 1414. Why is this such a serious issue? Because the Toad, its effect is that it gives the coronavirus to a pet that gets hit. So it's a supporting unit that helps me win the fight. Very well played on his part. Now, another interesting thing to notice is that this Hawk, my Hawk in the second position, it actually whiffs. So it deals 7 damage to the unit, the pet in their second position, but there is no pet. And consequently, he gets a perfect trade-off and I lose. Well played first game on his part. Now let's go into the second game. Alright, so the Pack 1 strategy largely remains unchanged. You will try to want to build a big unit via an otter, but the otter actually is nerfed by this point. The level 2 ability, instead of buffing +2/+2 to a single pet, it distributes +1/+1 to 2 pets. So you're no longer trying to find all the otters in the world trying to make one big unit. So consequently, on this turn in the old meta, I would be rolling 3 times to find an otter. I decide here that I'm just going to finish off my turn by buying a beaver. And he gets pretty lucky with mosquito hits and wins the fight. So yeah, I take a long time to think, and there's also server issues. So I just try to make sure I want to learn from the last game. I want to spend all my gold, because the worst thing to do is to get into some analysis paralysis and then not spend your gold. I won the second round, and we enter rounds 3 and 4. Tier 2s are available, and this is very different than what we are used to in the old meta, where traditionally you only have 2 pets on the board right now, and you're just basically just rolling for your otters, and then in this situation I would be rolling for mosquitoes and otters. However, with the otter nerfed, the goal of this round is, I guess for me at least, I'm just trying to survive. I want to spend all my gold, and I want to not do that. Somehow I still win. I put my flamingo in the last position. That's very dumb. So yeah, with 45 seconds left, I've got 7 gold, and again, I'm trying to think, what am I actually trying to look for? Am I looking for, do I want to meat bone my turtle? Do I want to look for pills? Do I want to prepare for level ups? And I think pretty darn slow. This is usually how it goes. I feel like I have all the time in the world, and then I think a little bit too deeply, and then before you know it, I've got 5 seconds left. I'm not sure what I'm trying to actually do, and I'm just playing as fast as I can. All right, turn 5. This is a great first 2 units. We got 2 level ups for an early tier 4, and we see a squirrel. Now, the squirrel used to be a pretty bad pet because it just discounted food at the start of the turn. But now, actually, the meta in the Pack 1 actually revolves around food these days. So I'm trying to think, what is it that I'm trying to do with my team? And I just start thinking too long, and I spend my last gold's doing nothing useful. So as you can see, the squirrel, the difference between the old squirrel and the new squirrel is that a new food actually shows up and then it gets discounted. How big is that? It's actually enormous, because the odds of it being useful is much higher. And with the squirrel being much more useful, rabbit is also very strong these days. So the rabbit, when you buy a food onto a pet, it gives some stats, some health, and it fits very well with the, what's it called, the squirrel. However, I'm not in a good position here because he has a level 3 fish already and he has a bison scaling. So the level 3 fish gave his team a lot of stats and he will be getting stats from the bison every single turn. I need to find a way to make sure that I can scale more than he scales with my squirrel and my rabbit scaling. However, this is going to be hard because I run out of time and I just do nothing useful. Luckily, we draw. But yeah, you'll notice, even though we have 75 seconds of scaling timing, the 75 seconds does include the fight animations. So more often than not, I begin the round with less than 60 seconds to think. And again, I'm thinking, all right, I've got 7 gold. What do I actually want to do with my team? Do I potentially want the scorpion? What type of foods and what pet do I want to keep long term? So in the heat of the moment, I try to spend all my gold. The sucky thing about the short timer is that actually you have even less time than you think because there's time that you have to spend for animation. When you buy a food, the rabbit has to give +1 health to a pet, and I have to make sure I give myself enough time to spend my gold and while not forgetting about the animation timing. Last round, I lost this fight, and unfortunately, I did not freeze the 2 squirrels. So right now, I'm faced with a pretty serious issue. His team, he has a penguin going, and he has 2 a level reaching probably close to level 2 bison. He's got a lot of passive scaling. Meanwhile, I have to scale the hard way using food. So is there a way that I can outscale him? Probably not. However, the nice thing is I have a really massive scorpion and I can try to knock out his units. Last turn, unfortunately, I ran out of time and I didn't move my scorpion away from the front line. All right, so now again, I just spent too much time thinking. You'll notice I have 12 gold left at 12 seconds left, and then this bug happens. Like this test servers are slow. And I'm just trying to spend all my gold and I float 5. I float 5 here. So I lose the fight. Okay, well, that's the second match, and let's start with the third match. All right, the third match, it's loser's choice. So instead of playing with the pack 2 or the expansion pack 1 or pack 2 as we call it, I decided that I want to play with what I'm comfortable with, and I want to play with pack 1 again, the free to play pack. So we're both on pack 1 right now. Pretty standard start, just buy 3 pets and hope for the best. He's got a very strong start in that he's going the traditional make a big mosquito with a multiple otter strategy. Meanwhile, I'm kind of buying just a lot of kind of random pets, to be honest. So even though I won the first round, sometimes it's not about winning. Sometimes it's about that potential energy, which he's got a lot more of. And at this point, I'm trying to think, what is it that I'm looking for? I want to look for doubles and I want to also tempo out. So I decided that I'm looking for a mosquito, I level up and I'm going to buy that sheep. Now with 4 gold left, it's like, what is it that I'm actually looking for? I'm not actually certain what's the best strategy these days. So as such, I just kind of buy random units and I'm looking to try to buy doubles and prepare triples for on turn 5. And we draw. So we both have 14 lives left, and whoever wins this next fight, this next fight is actually pretty critical. If you win this fight, you'll make the other person start at 12 health going to round 5. By turn 5, you lose 3 health per round per turn. So you will start the turn 5 with 4 losses remaining, while the other guy has 5 losses. And of course, I think too long, and I spend my whole entire turn buying a swan with a meat bone. Not the strongest pet combination. And because of that, I lose with 1 health. Alright, so turn 5 is very critical. You've got a lot of new pets available, and you want to determine what is it that you want to do on this turn. What are the strategies we want to revolve our pets around? And to decide that, we're going to go for the food build strategy. It's fairly strong if you can get multiple rabbits and salad, so your salads give a lot of health, but without 2 rabbits, or a squirrel, it's kind of flimsy. His scaling will be giraffe. I do have a very nice economy advantage. I have a level 2 swan, so I will have each turn I'll have 2 extra gold to work with. And at this point though, I have 3 snails frozen. This is a very interesting situation. I want to lose, but I want to lose early, but I don't want to lose the next turn, or I don't want to spend too much time just rolling the shop doing nothing. So I kind of panic here, and geez, I I had 5 gold left and I didn't do anything with it. I buy an apple with 5 gold left. So of course, after spending 5 gold to buy an apple, I lose, which is what we wanted, right? We have snails that can be used. And so it is now turn 7, tier 4s are available, and I want to make a decision. What is it that I actually want? And actually, I don't know why I'm thinking about selling a sheep. I should clearly be selling the flamingo here. Oh, I sell both. However, I spent my whole turn just trying to do this, and I panic and I do something. Jeez. And my scorpion just gets annihilated. But now we've got the worm, which is part of the food build, and we've got a rabbit. This is good, right? We can potentially start scaling with a worm, get a really big worm, and try to fight out, just overpower his team. However, you'll notice there's something that's missing on my team. I have zero melons, 0 turtles, 0 melons. So he has 2 melons over me, and it's going to be really, really hard to outvalue melons and turtles. Now I've got 3 health left on my last life. This is the game 3, so if I lose, I will just be out of the tournament. So with 9 gold left, it's like, what is it actually that I'm trying to do? Do I want to transition into turkey and summoning, or do I want to try to win via food scaling? So much to think about and not enough time. And I guess I decided to go for the worm scaling. Which is just enough to eke out a win. My worm got huge. So my back is against the wall. I've got very little health remaining, and he's got 3 lives left. And I'm scared because at any point of the game, all he needs to do is kind of put like a scorpion out in front, and I'm in bad shape. My big units will just die. And yeah, with 3 seconds left, I just kind of go for it. This is the start of the comeback. How do I win this tournament? Well, spoiler alert, I've got 3 health left, and my back is against the wall. If I win the tournament, then I probably won this fight, right? All right, so again, I've got 12 gold left. I think to myself, what is it that I'm actually trying to do? What is it I'm trying to accomplish? What am I looking for? So I spend all my time thinking, what am I looking for? And then, of course, I've got 12 gold left, and I've got 20 seconds, and I've got no time. And so I just spend the gold, and then now I have to think. I've got 2 seconds left. I have to think positioning. What is it that I'm trying to do with my position? And so I just kind of botch up the position, and I lose. So yeah, I actually got knocked out of the tournament in the first round. I lied to you guys with my title, but I wanted to, make the video a little bit suspenseful. So the tournament for me wrapped up very quickly, but I'm going to show you guys how the tournament ended up. So Sin beat me, clean up 3-0. He went on to beat Fengar 3-1, and he got knocked out by Lightmare. Lightmare, one of the highest seeded players in this tournament, goes on to the final to face Rakor, who's the number 2 seed. And in a very intense match, I wish I had recorded this, Lightmare beats out Rakor. Rakor actually just lost a couple rounds, unfortunately, and he's just started panicking, so he ends up losing 4-1. With a trophy hot on the line, it's very easy to just let the anxiety, let the stress get to you and make mistakes. So Lightmare is now the 4th guy with a trophy hat. Congratulations to him. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a good rest of the day.